This is my coffee corner. To make it more consistent in color-wise, I bought all equipment in black. I think they look great together. The only one needs to be improved is the knock box. This knock box is designed to sit in a hole on the countertop, so the bottom portion of this box looks unfinished. I don't want to cut a hole on my countertop, so I would like to build a holder for this knock box. For sure, I will paint the wood holder into black. The only challenge is the wood holder needs to be very solid, since the function of knock box is something like this. I want the holder to look simple and low-key, no fancy joinery outside, so miter joint is the best choice. However, miter joint is not quite strong, so I need something else to strengthen it. I decided to use CNC to cut a miter with blind finger joint. This is the model file I designed in Fusion 360. Each joinery has 4 fingers hidden inside the miter. Now let's make the holder. First step is to cut stock on table saw and miter saw. And then it was CNC job. I first used 1/4-inch flat end mill to roughly cut the shape, then changed to 1/8 ball end mill to do the majority of the cut, including all curved surfaces and miter surfaces. At the end, I changed to 1/8 flat end mill to remove some rounded edges. This is the outcome of CNC. The top surface looks rough because I used upcut beads, but they were fairly easy to clean up. I cleaned up them with 180 grit sanding block and a small piece of sanding paper. The final result looks quite clean. However, when I tested joinery, I found the miter cannot be fully closed. There was something blocking it. After some checking and thinking, I thought I found the root cause. The corner edges in my design were 90-degree edges. However, since this edge was cut by bore and mill, so the actual piece got a rounded edge. The rounded edge conflicted with the straight edge of the counterpiece. It was not perfect, but it could be saved. I used a small square file to file down the rounded edges. Then the metal joint could be closed correctly. After solving this issue, it was time for glue up. I clamped a long level to my workbench to act as a straight reference edge for the box. Then I used blue tape to connect all the metal joints. After glue up, I rounded all the bottom and vertical edges of the holder. Then it was time for paint. I had a leftover black spray paint in my shop. To spray the holder easily, I needed a Lazy Susan, which I didn't have. So I started to make a simple Lazy Susan. I used 2 scrapped plywood pieces, drilled holes on both of them, installed a threaded insert into one of them, and shoulder bolt, wing nut, and spring washer into the other plywood piece. That's it. An ugly shop-made Lazy Susan just for this paint job. After the spray paint, I used a dry foam brush to remove the excess paint. Later, I also applied 3 coats of Wipe-On Poly as a protective top coat. Now it's time to make a cup of coffee and enjoy. Bonus session. Do you remember the joinery issue I met? Although I fell down the edges to solve the issue, I still want to solve it permanently in the 3D model. This is the rounded edge in the actual piece. Since this edge is on the 45-degree miter surface, I cannot use flat end mill to cut it. So making it 90 degrees straight on actual piece seems not possible. So we have to change the counterpart. My solution is to change this edge on the counterpart to a rounded one. So I selected all the 4 edges that need to be modified and then give a 330 round over. As I was using 1/8 ball end mill, which could cut roughly 1/16 rounded edge, 330 should be big enough to not conflict with the 1/16 rounded edge. After changing the model, I quickly cut 2 test pieces on CNC. This was the rounded edge we just changed in the model. Moment of truth. Let's test it. Yeah, now the miter could close seamlessly. That's it for today's video. If you like this video, please thumb up and subscribe. Thank you for watching.